We're recording.
Sweet.
Go ahead, Tammy. I'll let you start this jam session.
Okay, great. I just had a message that my internet is unstable. So
Of course you did.
you can hear me, right? All right, guys. Yeah. My name is Tammy. For anybody who is on here who doesn't know me, I'm going to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about my story, how I got started, a little bit about coaching, and then I'm going to hand it over to Blake, and then Aaron is going to finish us off. We're going to make this really short and sweet. And if you guys can all mute your thingies because of the background noise. So just make sure you're all muted. Thank you.
In the bottom left corner of your computer screen.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay. Okay, I think everybody is muted now. Okay, that I get distracted easily, so I appreciate that. Okay, like I said, we're gonna make this short and sweet and get you guys out of here and to bed because it's 9 o'clock, which is past my bedtime here in Kentucky. So again, my name is Tammy. I have been coaching now for 4 years, and I want to tell you a little bit how I got started. I have no background in fitness, nutrition, or anything remotely close to that. My background is in early childhood education and being a mom, which is what I've been for the last 16 years as a stay-at-home mom. So after I had Stella, my third child, who is now 6, I was struggling with losing baby weight, and basically I found somebody had posted on social media, imagine that, about this 21-day fix program. And I saw it, and I kept watching this girl post her results, and I'm like, kept watching, and finally I was like, okay, I need to know what you're doing. And so anyway, she hooked me up with the 21-day fix program. I did that program in 3 weeks, and I lost, I think I lost, I don't know why, I just forgot. I've lost 11 pounds. And felt so good, and I loved it. And I had tried at-home workouts before, like off and on, but I could never stick to it. But I just loved that program. Anyway, so that's how I started with the workout programs. But it took me almost a year before I actually started coaching. And what happened was I was kind of off and on with all the workouts for several months, and then somebody invited me to a challenge group, and I got into the challenge group, and I loved the community so much, and it just helped keep me accountable. And so from that point on, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do this, and I just stuck with the whole fitness and nutrition thing like I'd never done before. And then those groups ended, and I was sad, and I was like, I don't know what to do now. I need this accountability. And so I decided, hey, maybe I'll just become a coach and start my own groups. So that's what I did, not having a clue what in the world I was doing. I just signed up completely on a whim and started coaching. And I just, it took me a while to really get into, to where I am now with the coaching. I kind of eased myself into it, but I fell in love with the community of people. It's just like, there's nothing like the community of Beachbody coaches. So inspiring, and just, I love how Beachbody actually pushes you to be a better person all around. That was one thing I really loved. So it was the first time in my life I ever started reading personal development. I'd never done that before. And I just started changing mentally and emotionally and physically, all the things from this coaching opportunity, and I just fell in love with all of it. And then I started having people join me, and I started seeing my friends and family get results, and it was just the most amazing feeling to be able to think, oh, I had a small part in that, in helping them get started, finding the program, cheering them on. It was just like, oh, okay, this is my thing. This is what I need to be doing. And I just, like I said, I just fell in love with it. And here I am 4 years later, still loving every minute of it. And so one thing that I really want to say, and I touched on this, is that I know sometimes people think, a health and fitness coach somehow means that I have to be a fitness or nutrition expert. And guys, I just want to tell you that I am the furthest from that. Like I'm kind of a fitness freak. Like I actually do love to work out most of the time. Definitely it's not been the case like my whole life. This was just a Beachbody, but I do love to work out. Nutrition is the struggle for me still. 4 years later, I still struggle with it all the time. And I'm always learning and I'm always growing. And I'm just sharing that with other people because I know I'm not the only person who struggles with this. And so I was not in the best shape when I started. I was not at my goal weight or my goal fitness level. And I'm always growing and changing as far as that goes also. And always, like I said, learning more about nutrition. Not an expert. And so you don't have to be either. I just want that to be clear. You do not have to be an expert. And I think that's the beauty of it, is just sharing your process as you go through it, because there's always somebody else out there who needs to see what you're doing. Like they need to know that they're not the only ones struggling. And so just for people to see you on your journey, it's just, I think it's something really special, and it really inspires other people to think, okay, I can do this too. And so that is my story. And like I said, short and sweet, I'm going to hand it over to Blake and she's going to take over.
All right. So I'll make my story short and sweet as well. And one thing I think I haven't shared before this was, it was just like Tammy in that I was in some after I had my first baby, people were like, let's do the Jillian Michaels shred or whatever. And we all got together and went into a Facebook group. And so it was sort of like a challenge group, but it wasn't. It was only 6 of us. And that was when I sort of got the first taste of this community. And I was like, I love posting about my workouts and I love sharing it with other people who just understand because they just did the same workout. And then after my second baby, I did 21 Day Fix Extreme and I fell in love and I got amazing results from it. And I, again, same thing, fell in love just like Tammy did with this community of people who were like, yes, you're eating well and cheering you on. And again, they understand when you're like, that move was so hard, or I died, or my butt hurt, or whatever it is. And I really thrived in that positive atmosphere, and I still do today. I totally just really do well with these challenge groups. So anyway, I decided I fell in love with Shakeology, but my husband was like, you need to figure out how to pay for that because there's no way, no way, this overpriced shake, which I do not think that today at all. It's worth every cent. But so I signed up as a coach just to get the discount because I was like 25% off all the products. Yeah, sign me up. And then my coach said to me, well, if you sign up 3 people, a month, yet that covers your Shakeology. And I was like, shut the front door. So I was like, I'm in, I'm going to do that. And then so it really just grew from just really wanting a discount, because who doesn't like a 25% discount? Because that's just insane. And it really started to go from there. And it really turned into this thing that I never knew I actually wanted in my life or needed, because I'll tell you right now, I'm a full-time writer and editor. I freelance from home. If you had asked me 10 years ago if I wanted to do anything other than be a writer and editor or a mom, a stay-at-home mom, I would have been like, no, this is my calling. I have my master's degree. Why would I ever do anything else? And so that's all to say that, I do this part-time and I don't have these intentions to stop the job that I do as a writer and editor, but I just love this other thing, and it's become more than a hobby for me. It's now become something that I've turned into a business. And like I said, 4 years ago when I signed up as a coach, I never imagined that it would go this way. And now here I am, and, making money and able to pay for things that help me spend more time with my family and have more experiences with them and go on vacations with them and do things with them that I never thought we would be able to do. So it's just really, really fun. That's all I have to say is like, we're really fun. We don't have any wine in our hands right now, but we are really, really fun, in case you couldn't get that from like how cool I look right now. Anyway, the biggest objection, and this is, I think, what everybody feels is like, I do not want to sell stuff. Like, I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want to be, because we've all gotten that message in our inbox that's like, hey, your profile looks really cute. Do you want to buy like some wine from me, or do you want to buy some makeup, or, maybe another Beachbody coach came to you and you were like, ew, don't message me. Well, here's the deal. I always tell people, if it makes you feel icky, like if you're just like, ew, I wouldn't want that message, then you don't send that message. And really, it's all about being passionate about the products that you're using. So like, I 110% believe in the workouts. I believe in the nutrition plans, and I believe in the philosophy of like personal development and bettering yourself as not just like a coach, but as a parent, as a friend, as a person. Like, I believe wholeheartedly in that. And when it's the same way, like when you believe in something so much, you just want to share it with people. It's the same thing. I always use the analogy of like, if you got the restaurant down the street in your little town and you're like, that was amazing, it was so good. You're going to come home and you're going to be like, hey neighbor, I just went to this amazing new restaurant. You have to try it out. They had this, this, and this. Oh my gosh. And when you go, you're going to want to get this and this and this. And we never think of that as being salesy, right? Because we're just sharing what we love. It's the same thing with what we do. And yeah, there are certain, things, you're developing relationships the same way, like you develop a relationship with a friend, with a neighbor, with a coworker. It's the same thing, and it's very organic and natural. So when it starts to feel unnatural, that tends to be when it turns salesy. And that's when you just say, that's not for me. Like, that's not the path I want to take. So it's really about feeling your way. But the selling thing, I am not a salesperson. I have never done sales before. I don't know a dang thing about sales and revenue and all this stuff. But what I do know is I know that this has worked for me. And I know that if somebody sticks to it, it will work for them too, unless there's like an underlying medical condition or whatever. But I know for a fact that it works. And I know that it's not based on fad diets. It's not based on quick fixes. It's based on a lifestyle change that is like you can hear it. Like, I believe in it. So like when I'm messaging people and I'm on like voice message with them, like they can hear my passion because I believe so much in it. So that's sort of I think that's the biggest thing that people are always wondering, like, but I don't sell. I don't want to sound salesy. I don't want to be that person. I can honestly tell you, you won't be. Because if you believe in the products and you're using them and you love them the way that like I do, you're just simply sharing. And you're sharing your journey just the same way Tammy was saying. You don't have to be at your goal weight, whatever goal weight is, like that's the same way, like reading, like, where you feel comfortable. Like, you don't have to be there. In fact, I wasn't there. I was only 4 months postpartum when I became a coach. I mean, I don't know anybody who like looks amazing 4 months postpartum. I mean, really. So I was clearly at the beginning of my journey. So I'm sort of rambling here, but that's the biggest thing, is the selling thing. You're just sharing what you love. You're sharing your journey. You're sharing what works for you, sharing your recipes, your workouts, all that. And that's pretty much what it is. So that's it. I'll pass it on to Erin, who's going to talk about.
Totally agree. I'm going to talk about. I don't want
to kill your. I don't want to kill your story. So I'll let you go.
No, that's all good. But I mean, I totally agree. It's all about sharing what you love and believe in, which is something you're probably already doing. So now someone's going to give you money for doing it, but that's not selling. It's just sharing what you're already doing. sharing. And so I'm going to tell you first about how I got started. So I started just over 3 years ago. And so I also started with 21 Day Fix. Notice a theme here? It's a great program to start with. I'm actually doing it again right now. And man, I'm loving it. It is so, if you are somebody who you've done 21 Day Fix before and you're like, oh, I couldn't go back to it, I'm saying you should go back to it. It's amazing. I'm doing the real-time workouts right now, and they're phenomenal. So I was invited by a local friend of mine to join a challenge group, an online challenge group, and to do 21 Day Fix with the portion control, the portion fix, Shakeology, and the 30-minute workouts. And I said no. I was like, no. I go to the gym. I used to own a spin studio, but I was not really, I was active, but I wasn't exactly a health and fitness professional by any means. And my son was about 2.5 years old at the time, and weight was creeping up on me, and chronic pain in my back, in my hips was creeping up on me. And definitely looking back now, I see exactly what was creeping up on me. It was depression. And it wasn't just anxiety, it was actual depression. And so I was in denial of what was going on with me. I thought, no, I live an active life. I mountain bike, I ski, I taught spin. I wasn't teaching at the time, but I'm coming right off of that. I'm good to go. I eat healthy. I know what I'm doing. I still go to the gym. And so I told her no many times. And she kept inviting me. And I eventually said yes to her. And because she was a friend that, she was doing it and she had belief in it. And she was having some success in it, even though, again, she was somebody who was nowhere near having had some tremendous results as of yet, hadn't reached any kind of weight goal as of yet, but she was, feeling good. And so she was sharing it with me, and I was seeing that and seeing her consistency with it. And so I said yes. And I kind of said yes more to prove myself right that, oh no, these things don't work for me. But I was a software tester. I worked in the corporate world and tested software. So my mindset is, okay, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to test it to break it. So I'm going to do it as it's written. And so that's what I did. And I hated it. For 2.5 weeks, I thought it was complete bull, and I was testing it to break it. And I was coming up with every excuse in the book every night to go home and not work out. But I did. Because I was driving at the time 45 minutes to work to an hour every day with my son. He would go to daycare near work with me. But it was the challenge group that got me to work out, because I would read the posts in the challenge group. I didn't comment on them or like them or post back or anything, but I would read them. And there was one particular post of a woman who had said, she had like 3 or 4 kids, and she was like, oh yeah, I got a flat tire and this happened and that happened. She had this horrible day. And she's like, but I still did my workout. I'm like, well, crap, I got to go do my workout. And that one post stuck with me, and I know it was life-changing for me, because it made me go home and do my workout that night, even though I'd already had every excuse not to. And I'm here now because of it. So at the end of the 21 days, actually it was about 2.5 weeks in, I got over that bull feeling, and something clicked in me. And I felt a change happen, a change in habits, a change in desires. I was actually wanting an apple versus popcorn for the first time in my life, like truly wanting that, and wanting the workout. And so it was the habits that were changing and forming. And at the end of the 3 weeks, I lost 10 pounds and 10 inches, and then I was really hooked. And that's when, so it was at the end of the 3 weeks, I signed up to be a coach. And again, I too was nowhere near, being any kind of goal or fully in shape. I was still modifying 21 Day Fix. I was struggling mentally with the idea that I was modifying, being that I used to be in much better shape and now I was modifying this 30-minute workout. But I signed up for the discount, and then people started asking me how I was getting the results, and wow, what did you do? And I was just sharing because that's what I do. I share with my friends things that I love and believe in. And then I realized, oh, gee, they're going to pay me for sharing this. Well, that's awesome. And it kind of then started to grow from there. And then it grew into, I really loved to help people and to build this community in my own challenge groups. And so that's how coaching grew for me. And for me, then it began to grow more and more. But I had this full-time 40-hour-a-week corporate job. And it began to become this thing of like, well, how do I fit this all in? Doing my workouts, my nutrition, family life, work life, and now coaching. And building this as any kind of business, whether I was building it just as a hobby or then later on as I started to grow it more and more. Either way, it took some time, whether it was a little bit of time or a lot of time. And so, at first I fumbled, no doubt, but, Tammy and Blake and I together, we found some ways and we've gotten some great training from Beachbody corporate to help us out. And the best piece of training that we have received, I think, was the power pockets. And that's where we work in just like little 5-minute, 10-minute increments. So if I'm just sitting downstairs with my son, he's watching a cartoon, I'll pull out my phone. I've got 5-10 minutes here while he's watching a cartoon. I'll make some connections. I'll send some invites. I'll do whatever my power work is right then and there. And we have some, I just lost my words there, specific tasks that we want to accomplish each day. And if I don't accomplish all of them every day, then I just leave where I left off. I start where I left off the next day in those little power pockets of time that I have throughout the day. And I honestly, as I started to grow my passion for coaching and I wanted to spend more time on it and wanted to give it more love, then I started to reprioritize my life a little bit. I said, okay, I spend a lot of time watching TV. Like people, I love TV. And as soon as I became an adult, I was like, there's no one here to tell me I can't watch TV. So I watched a lot of TV. But then I wanted to give more love to something that was really fueling me. And it was helping others. And so, and sharing something I loved. And so I reprioritized. I became that adult and it was hard. Won't lie, right? Sometimes we're going to suck it up. And this is where I had to suck it up. And I took some TV time away from myself. And I focused a little bit more on my business, on supporting other people, on inviting people who I thought might be interested in looking for some help. So anyway, that is how I slowly fit it into my life, just using small little bits of time. And then as I've grown my passion for the business, maybe grown those bits of time. But that's only by my choice, not by any kind of requirement. And that's one of my greatest loves about Beachbody. It's by your choice. I just want to end really quick by saying I've grown my passion so much that I actually just 4 weeks ago quit my corporate job so I can continue to grow this passion even more. Now, right now, financially, I am also still working a part-time job. I'm working at Athleta at the mall, and it is so much fun, I got to say, and also teaching some group fitness. But it's allowing me to open up some space kind of just, emotionally to focus on growing this passion and some time to do that. And it's pretty awesome to have the opportunity at the age of 42 to make such a change in my life, because I've been wanting to make such a change in my life for a very long time, but there was no way in heck I was going back to school financially or emotionally or time-wise. And it was such an easy, natural change for me. So there you go. That is my story. Like,
Okay.
did you have anything else, Tammy?
We have just a few minutes left. Does anybody have any questions that they want to ask the three of us right now before we end our call?
Nope.
Euler?
Caroline
Caroline?
has a question.
Go for it.
Sorry, I had to unmute my audio. I was like, hang on, there's buttons and I have to touch the phone and I have a 2-year-old. This is kind of crazy. So, yeah, that's you. So can you talk a little bit about how quickly you advanced through the ranks when you were starting to take your business more seriously at the beginning? And what that looked like maybe for each of you, just what the ramp up was like?
Can you watch the show?
Tammy, did you just unmute to go?
No, I was already unmuted.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's been a slow process for me. I'm not even going to lie. It took me a while, like I said, before I actually kind of went all in. It probably took me a year before, where I was just kind of like dipping my toes in it. And then I got to a point where I think it was probably about a year, and I was like, okay, I can actually do something with this. I can actually make some money. I can get people on board. And so it took me about a year, I think, gosh, it's hard for me to remember. And then for me to hit the diamond status. And I just decided, like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then, since hitting the diamond status, it's like, I've had really, parts of where I'm like going all in, and then life happens and I have to take a step back. Last year was a really, really tough year for me with just family stuff. And so I had to take kind of a step, not completely, but, out of the game, but I had to take a step back. So, it's just been kind of a process, but it took me about a year for me to hit the diamond status.
Wow.
I'd say for me, I was stuck very much still in that sort of denial state of what am I doing here? What do I want for a long time? So it did take me a little while too. Once I went to my first summit, that's when things started to really soar. Because that's when it opened up for me, like, I can do this and I can be me doing this. I don't have to be like anybody else I see on social media or any top coaches. If you happen to follow some top coaches, I can just be me and do this. And that's actually better. And that's when I started to really soar and things started to move much quicker. To reach Emerald, which is the first rank, if you're not familiar with this, that's when you personally sponsor 2 coaches yourself. That was pretty quick for me, but it was the diamond status that for me, which you have, I think 6 personally sponsored coaches and then 2 emeralds that you sponsor. Then that took about a year and a half, 2 years for me to get to. But, again, I think for me, that's longer than maybe it could have if I had been more fully focused right at the beginning.
Sorry, I just got an alert that said our meeting was extended. Sorry. Let's see. You want to know what my issue was? I had all the I hit Emerald very fast, and I had no guidance from anybody in my upline, and so I didn't know where to be putting any coaches. So I would have hit Diamond probably in the first 2 months of being a coach had I had somebody actually helping me. But that's the beauty of this, is that when you guys all become a coach, you don't have to go at it alone like I did. You would actually have a team, our team, guiding you and somebody helping you with things like that so that you don't make the same mistakes that I have or that we have as we go. But here's the thing about this rank advancement and what we didn't go into that you probably are all wondering, like, what the hell, who cares about rank advancement? So there are actually like 3 ways to earn money with Beachbody. You're probably like, well, yeah, rah, rah, fun community, woo, personal development. How do I make some money? Okay. So we didn't touch on this, and I realized that we're talking about rank advancement, but the first way is through commission. So the same way you get 25% discount, you also get a 25% commission on anything that anybody purchases from you. So way back when I said, if I get 3 people to sign up, it pays for my Shakeology. What I meant by that is the commissions generated by those 3 sales would cover the cost of my Shakeology, if that makes sense. So I apologize if I was not clear about that. So that's one way. So if somebody purchases something from you, you earn commissions that way. The next way, and why rank advancement is important, is when you hit emerald status, which is, like I said, like Erin or Tammy was saying, you have 2 coaches, one on each leg, you're like this, under you. That's when you earn something called team bonus cycles. And that is generated by volume that is underneath you. And here's the beauty of being in an established team like ours that's growing and just people joining us all the time, is that you're not just earning volume from your coaches that you sign up, you're earning volume from my coaches that I sign up, and my coaches sign up, and you see how it like keeps going like that. So for me personally, I didn't get to benefit from that because I didn't have anybody placing anybody underneath me. So I had to build from scratch. But the beauty of this for you guys, when you join a team that's established like ours and that's like on fire, you start generating and getting that volume. When you hit emerald status, you start earning all that volume from coaches that you're like, I don't even know who these people are under me, but great. This is fantastic. They're bringing in money and I'm just, great. So that is really a benefit to joining an established team like this. And then the third way is through what we call star diamond bonuses. Those are quarterly bonuses. That's when you hit a certain rank, you will earn certain bonuses. And just to give you an idea, like a 2-star diamond bonus is generally around like $700 or $800. And then 5-star bonuses, they tend to get in the more like the 4-figure range. And then all the way up to 15 stars more in like the, $25,000, $30,000 range. So that's the other way you earn money doing this. So those are the 3 ways. I realized when we were talking about rank advancement, we didn't cover that part, and probably all were like, I don't know. Anybody else have a question? Did I cover that fairly?
Yeah, that was good. Thanks. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead. I just was curious about it. And
No. And everybody's different.
I was like, this is the time.
Yeah, no, everybody's different. You're going to hear people say, I got, I got to emerald my first week, and I got to, I've read about people who got to diamond in 2 days. Does it happen? Sure, it certainly does happen. Is there a timeline on how long it should take? Absolutely not. You do this at your own pace. That's the thing, you guys. This is a business, quote unquote, and I shouldn't even put it in quotes. It's a business if you want it to be. So you can push however hard you want, or you can just do it for the discount, or you can do something that's like in between. It's whatever you want. You don't have a boss. You don't answer to anybody on our team. You do what you want to do. If you want to run a challenge group by yourself, you do that. Like there's really no rules. And that's sort of the beauty of being, an entrepreneur, is that nobody tells you what to do, which is what I love. I hate having a boss. I hate answering to a boss and somebody telling me, watching where I am and during the day. Or like I used to go get my hair cut during the day when I was working. My boss was always up about where I was. And I'm like, oh, leave me alone. I get my work done and I do it well. Well, with this, you don't have to answer to anybody. Nobody's like, when are you're taking time off? No, I don't have to tell anybody. I can take off a whole freaking month if I want to do it. That's the beauty of what this opportunity is. It is as flexible as you want it to be, and it's whatever you want it to be. You don't have to rank advance at any certain speed. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. I'll get off my soapbox.
It is weird at first if you are somebody like me and you do get to a point where you want to quit your corporate job and you don't have that boss anymore, and you're like, okay, here's a field trip coming up at your kid's school, and you're like, oh no, can I go? I don't know. Can I like had this major turmoil of could I go or not? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can go. This is weird.
Yeah. Yeah,
and I'm going.
I'm there for every single thing. I get my child off the bus every single day. And that's because that's what I want to do. I'm not saying like anybody should want to quit their job or whatever, but that opportunity is there. If you just hate your dang job, like Erin hated her job. Every day she would tell us how much she hated her job. She hated the people she worked with. She hated her job. And it was sucking her energy and life out of her. Guys, we have one life. Why wouldn't you try this? Why wouldn't you go for it? It's just one of those things. Like there's the risk is there isn't even a risk. There's not even like a monetary risk to even try this. So it's like other companies, you have to purchase all of this inventory. You have to sell things, or you have to purchase products every month. Like you don't have to do any of that. There's none of that exists. So you literally have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Like you can literally quit your job if you want, depending on how hard you're working and what you're doing and things like that, if you want to. Like if you just want extra money on the side to pay for like your summer vacation with your family, or your groceries, or the house cleaner, or whatever, cover your student loan, whatever it is, like that can be this for you. You make it whatever you want it to be.
Or if you're annoying your friends by complaining about your job, then maybe you should do this and quit your corporate job.
Yeah. If every day you wake up thinking I hate my job, you might want to think about this.
Yeah. Great. Well, does anybody else have any questions?
Nope.
Okay, well, thank you all for joining tonight. We love sharing our story because we do love everything about this. We have a great passion for it. So if anybody does have any interest in this at all, or any more questions, please talk to the person who has invited you or shared this video, because we will share this recording. So,
Megan, did you have a question? Megan?
Oh, yes.
I'm sorry, Megan.
I actually had a question about it was a product question. It wasn't a question about like the business side of it. So I'm going a little off what we were talking about there, but I've been doing Advocare for the past 4 years at this point, and I really do feel like I'm outgrowing that, and I'm leaning more towards just doing Beachbody. But there really is only like a couple of products that I use consistently with Advocare. Like I said, I feel like I'm outgrowing it, but I've been using Spark, and it's like an energy thing. Like I don't drink coffee anymore at all because I drink Spark whenever I wake up in the mornings. So what would be the equivalent to that with Beachbody? What are you doing?
Should I answer that one?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I don't work too many. Oh, there you are. Energize. That's what I would drink. It's 100% all natural. I don't like to completely down other products, but I'll just say the Energize contains no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives, no artificial ingredients, and no harmful dyes. Red dye 40, I cannot tell you how bad it is for you if it's in your drink. Same with sucralose. It is bad stuff. You do not want to consume stuff that has that in that. So you go check your labels after you get off the call. Energize would be your jam. It is life. And I would guarantee, I'm like, everybody on here uses it. It is crack. And I love it. And my mouth waters just thinking about it right now. And I actually, the fact that like I get to drink it each morning is like pretty much what gets me out of bed in the morning because it tastes so damn good. Like I have issues.
I will say
that's all I have
that
to say.
my next door neighbor, who is also a coach, when she started with Beachbody, she was drinking Spark too, and she loved her Spark. I don't know really anything about Spark or Advocare, but she loved it, and she didn't want to get rid of it. And I'm like, look, you got to try this Energize. Like, this is my mama crack. You have to at least try it. Now, she's hooked on it. No more Advocare. She's all, all the body. So I definitely recommend. I can't live without my Energize for sure.
Oh, and Megan, you can get, if you wanted to, if you were like, oh, I'm not ready to commit to it, you can get their sampler, a sampler pack. You can get a 10-pack of Energize, and just try it and see if you like it. Before maybe it's not your thing. You can always get, it's a 10 packet of just only the lemon comes in the 10 packets, not the fruit punch. But you can always do it that way and just test it out that way.
Okay, that sounds good. I've definitely been one of those people that has said I could never live without my Spark, but I ever since I started with Beachbody, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just a different feeling. It's a very different feeling, and I'm more motivated and consistent, and I've only been doing it for like 2 weeks, but it's a different feeling, and I've enjoyed it very much.
And you're killing it in these 2 weeks.
Well, thank you.
Which workouts are you doing?
I started with Clean Week, and now I'm doing the 21-day fix, and that has been kicking my butt.
Yes,
for sure.
It does. Awesome. Way to go.
Yeah. And I'm like 6 months postpartum right now. So I before I had my I only have 2 kids. Before I had my 5-year-old, I was in pretty good shape. I was a lot younger then as well. So, but yeah, I was in pretty good shape, and now I feel like I'm doing all these workouts. I played college volleyball, and I was in very good shape, and I feel like, man, I just let myself go or something. I don't know. But then whenever I started doing these workouts, I felt like my old self again. I don't know.
Oh, so good. Yay.
You need to do 80-day obsession next. Then you will feel like you're back to like your college self. You'll feel badass.
Yes. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
you'll love it.
I'm looking forward to that one.
You'll feel badass on the days that you can actually get out of bed and walk, and on the other days you're going to be like, man, I can't. How sore I am until you get
that's me.
Slippery slope, my friend. Slippery slope. Just saying.
You guys are.
That sounds fun.
All right, are we wrapping it? Anybody else have questions? All right.
Yeah, not at this time.
All right. Well, thank you guys for all hopping on tonight. I appreciate it.
For offering this.
Thanks.
Message us if you guys have any other questions, and we'll chat with you.
Yep.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.